and gentlemen, it's me, Jermaine, and I'm back with another Simple Truth news update. Ladies and gentlemen, the more you take the time and search the internet, peruse the internet, browse the internet to find information, find out what's going on in the entire world that is around us, you come across stories that just really and truly begin to blow your mind. And more so than anything, if you are a believer in the Most High himself, and you know that there is only one creator of the universe, and you read the word, the Bible, and you believe the Bible to be the instructions that come from the Most High himself, you start to see how everything in this world that we live in is counter and contrary to everything that the Most High has instructed for those that are his to do. And you may be saying to yourself, well, Jermaine, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You come on, you rant, you update, you talk about a lot of things. Well, what I am going to share with you today, it is just going to just boom, blow your mind. Now, what I'm talking about is an article that I happened to see from the Northern Colorado Gazette. And before I get into the article, I'm only going to read a few excerpts of the article. I'm going to make them available here on the screen so you can see them. But there's an old saying that goes that if you give an inch, oftentimes people will want to take a mile. And with that said, we are living in times that are so wicked and perverse that things are being lobbied for, that things have just gotten totally out of hand and out of whack. Ecclesiastes 9:18 really and truly brings home what I'm trying to say. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
What?
One sinner destroyeth much good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just cannot believe what people have reduced our world to, or at least the world we live in to become. Really, I can't say that I can't believe it, because I do read the Bible. I do read the word, and I know that these things are to come to pass. But as you begin to see them come to pass, it is just utterly amazing. And what I am talking about is this article right here. The Northern Colorado Gazette, and it reports, pedophiles want the same rights as homosexuals.
What? What?
Claim unfair to be stigmatized for sexual orientation.
Really?
This here has to be one of the craziest things that I have ever heard. And it just goes to show you that when you let a little bit of sin or evil in, things like this begin to happen. Here's something else that the Bible has to say, first and foremost, about ways of conducting ourselves when it comes to relationships, male and female. You notice I said male and female, because the Creator, the one who created each and every one of us, never intended for the things that man has allowed to happen to be a part of any of those that follow him. So it just goes to show you that those that defy what the Most High himself commanded, he didn't suggest it, he commanded it. Let me show you the main thing that I'm talking about, and this comes from Leviticus 18:22, and it says, "Thou shalt not." Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we read "thou shalt not," as far as the Bible is concerned, this is the Most High making an explicit and specific demand and command upon his people. And it says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind." It is abomination. Well, there are going to be many people that follow my channel. You may unsubscribe. You may want to rise up and put a whole lot of negativity on what I am saying. But I am only reading the words of the Bible, the words of the Most High and his commandment of what not to do. If you fall into this category and it is something that you are offended by, you dislike, well, it is not me that you're offended by. It is not the simple truth that you're offended by. You are offended by the Creator himself because you openly defy what he has said not. Thou shalt not do this thing. Now let's get back to the article that we were talking about that got all of this this steam and this heat going. And I'm going to leave the link to this article so you can read it in its entirety. Now, when we're talking about this article, I want you to understand what is happening here. You have pedophiles, those that wish to have relations, for lack of better terms, with children, who want the opportunity, just as the homosexuals have fought for their so-called rights. They want to be in the same grouping with their rights, and that is the right to be able to freely have relations with children. Are you hearing me, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to share portions of the article. You can read the entire article yourself, but this is the things that I want to point out. Using the same tactics used by gay rights activists, pedophiles have begun to seek similar status, arguing their desire for children is a sexual orientation no different than heterosexual or homosexual.
Really? Really?
Critics of the homosexual lifestyle have long claimed that once it became acceptable to identify homosexuality as simply an alternative lifestyle or sexual orientation, logically, nothing would be off limits. Gay advocates have taken offense to such a position, insisting this would never happen. However, psychiatrists are now beginning to advocate redefining pedophilia in the same way homosexuality was redefined several years ago.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, do you see what is happening here? Once the door was opened to the initial alternative lifestyle, homosexuality, which the Bible has told us the Most High himself views as an abomination, now the domino effect is beginning to happen, and you have people that are so-called professionals, psychiatrists, medical doctors. It just shows you that the field of medicine has a lot of witchcraft that is a part of it, is now opening the door even wider to this second form of alternative lifestyle or sexual orientation. Let's get back to the other portion of the article that I want to share with you. And it states that in 1998, the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, issued a report claiming that the negative potential of adult sex with children was overrated, and that the vast majority of both men and women reported no negative sexual effects from childhood sexual abuse experiences. Pedophilia has already been granted protected status by the federal government.
Really? Really?
The Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act lists sexual orientation as a protected class. However, it does not define the term. Ladies and gentlemen, are you hearing this? More than that, are you seeing this from these excerpts of the article that I'm sharing with you? The simple truth of the whole thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that once you allow sin to enter in, sin is like a consuming fire. It does not care what it destroys or what it takes out. It begins to domino, it begins to inferno, and starts to destroy much good, as the word speaks about. The simple truth of the whole thing is, ladies and gentlemen, people feel as if they are above the Most High. They can do whatever they please as long as their minds can think it. They think that it is okay to do, and more importantly, that it is okay to force it upon those who are totally against it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot that is going on, and many people are asleep, and they continue to hit the snooze bar of comfort, of just dismal ignorance, as my pastor always says. They just don't care because it doesn't affect them. That's the reason they don't care. As long as it does not affect their world, they could care less. But more and more, wickedness is closing in on those that want to uphold righteousness, those that want to uphold the sound word of the Creator of the universe. This has been the simple truth. And as I always tell you, it is the simple things that are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, on this episode of The Simple Truth. And I'll see you and I'll see you again real soon.